Someone should have told Team Heretics this was a best of 3 because they treated it like they treat BO5s. Team Heretics were up 10-0 to Giant X and completely threw the game. It was one of the most embarrassing chokes I think I've ever seen. They were truly, utterly dominant to the point where the casters was talking about literally anything else. But then something happened, man, because a switch flipped. Giant X started destroying them, hard reading into everything they were doing, and they lost horribly. So let's go ahead and break down how Team Heretics lost to Giant X here, because it's embarrassing and, in my opinion, indicative of a bigger problem within their organization that they need to fix if they're going to win a championship. I am sorry, very sorry, for not uploading for the past 2 days. I promise I'm going to get back on it. Some teams throw super advanced fakes and try and do a bunch of stuff. No, Giant X are going to hit the A side. They're going to go fast and hard. The issue is that they really didn't seem to know what they wanted to push. Do you want to push site? Do you want to push ramp? Well, Woot pushes them here and is able to get this kill on the cloud, and this is where I get kind of confused. So west side, their Cypher ends up peeking alone. You've been here for about 30 seconds. You've been on this side for 30 seconds. Surely you anticipate at least 2 people up ramp, right? Like, there's no way that we're thinking that you just have had Team Heretics sitting on B for the past 30 seconds, right? And so then he dies. Woot gets in the ISO, gets a kill. Not related to the round, but Pansy and Mimi are the greatest casting duo of all time, argue with the wall. They were having a bunch of stuff that was just fun going on with like Woot's ISO ults and stuff. They are the best casters. Also, thank you guys very much for 5K subscribers. Shooting for 10K, so go ahead and subscribe. But that round was honestly just bad from Giant X, so let's go ahead and see what happens on their next buy round. Giant X don't look as dumb here, as they're going to try and push up mid. Now, Team Heretics have done this setup plenty of times before, where they try and get Woot inserted right into this space behind the box on the ISO. They've done it plenty of times on Haven. This is something that you should be prepared for if you're Giant X and you've done your homework, and they have, to their credit. You get numbers here. So, with 1:20 remaining, we just sit here. Like, literally just sit here. And sit here. I would say we're waiting for Breach's stun is the only thing that I could think of, but they don't wait for it. They don't do anything off of it. They sit there for 20 seconds. I'm assuming their IGL is thinking. Hopefully, he's thinking. And they run away from the B site here and slow push up A. But I want you to notice, 30 seconds ago, when this whole thing started, Omen was alone on A. After you got that kill, if you did exactly what they end up doing, which is smoke this off, push, then you have a 5v1 that you could have taken, which is now a 2v5, and not even B5. Cypher is over here. It's just really puzzling to me why you're waiting that long to do something. The only thing I can think of is the IGL is thinking, or you're waiting here for them to try and push you and regain numbers, but I don't see them doing that, to be honest. And then this execute is really sloppy. Not flashing or anything. You know, you do have those with your Yoru, and then your Yoru dies to your own tail up here, but turns into a 2v2. Now, you are able to get the plant down, so slowing down didn't necessarily hurt you in that aspect, right, where you're going to lose the round because of it that way, but I would argue that if you had more time, you could say, okay, Yoru flash this, blah, 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 whatever, and then this is just a Benji Fisher moment, right? I mean, he's a great player. It's insane that he's been able to be so good at both Fortnite and Valorant, and he looks phenomenal. Not even on the Cypher here, just on Viper. Just takes down the Breach ult, and then Cypher dies as well. 5-0, Team Heretics on top. Giant X buy up this next round. I really don't get what they're trying to do here. So they're going to have Teo section his missiles here and here, and then their Yoru TP up, which just doesn't make sense to me for what you want to do. Look at this. He uses the Teo models here, here, Breach stun here. It seems like they want to take this space, as Yoru TP's almost into it and then dies here. What I don't get is you have Breach Teo. That means this section you can just literally force someone out of, like that. Why wouldn't you just have Yoru put his TP a tiny bit deeper so he could literally TP in here and use the Teo missiles to flush Benji out of here? Instead, now you don't have to worry about this area. You don't have to use a Teo missile there. I just don't get the thought process behind this. Even if this isn't necessarily the area you want to take, even if you want to take this space, you can do the same thing by TPing here, and then you can walk out, because it has to be cleared with the Teo. Like, this was solved literally day one of Teo being played on split. Literally one of the first things I saw done with Teo is just take this space. Westside's predictable lurk gets destroyed because there's no pressure on any other area of the map. I mean, you saw right there, Benji Fishy does not feel pressured at all right there. He just dominates them. There were a lot of puzzling decisions like this, decisions that just did not make sense for a tier 1 Valorant team to be doing, and honestly, it makes it so much more impressive they were able to come back, because it looked like a tier 2 team. Like this, again, this is the game that you're talking to chat, you're shilling out for donations. Join the channel as a member, by the way. But you know, like, this is not a game you're supposed to take as, oh, this is going to be a big banger matchup, and it wasn't until it was. And this round, Giant X look like they have a plan to win the round. They're going in, they're getting numbers, they're shooting their guns. For once, it looks like they finally can win a round and maybe start a comeback, right? 5-7 isn't bad. 5-7 win pistol. 7-7, you know, boom, boom. We're going to shoot our guns. Boom. 1 for 1. But at least they got the first blood. Now, Woot, unable to hit these shots going in. And the Mini Boo does as well. A 4v2. And then one of the best plays that I've seen out of any team this year happens. And it is hilarious. They fade ult so that Giant X can't hear anything. Boo teleports directly behind all of them and gets 3. Now, I'm not going to bore you with Runner running around for 20 minutes. He ends up getting hard red that he's flanked. But what I do want you to do is watch this replay and just see what Team Heretics are doing. Look at these grins, bro. They feel bad at this point. Look at this. Watch the replay. Boom, boom, you know, right here, TP behind. He gets 3 because no one thinks about this as a possibility. And look at them, bro. Look at their faces. They look like kids who are seeing something they aren't supposed to. This is hilarious. But finally, for Giant X, there is some hope. There's some light at the end of the tunnel. On the Sheriff Eco, which I was recently informed by Pansy that it's called a Shiko. Did not know that. Anyways, on the Shiko here, they have a great plan, which is Omen, try and get in without Boo realizing, which, all in all, pretty good plan, right? He's able to get this lurk in with the second that Boo isn't looking at main, and now Benji pops ult because he feels pressured up mid, but you have Purpo in the nest, right? They don't expect him here. 1, 2, now it's a 5v3. Benji is quickly trying to kill him so he's not able to recover the guns, and maybe Benji can try and stop them from flooding into the B site, but a wonderful paranoia, like truly a great paranoia there, ends up stopping it. Woot tries to pop ult, tries to stop this, and to be fair, does get a kill, but now 5v4 post plan, 4v3 post plan. You're still not in a great spot. Wonderful tail. Again, this was the first time where I saw some great util out of Giant X, right? This tail forces Boo into them, which not only gets them the kill, but also a gun, Mini Boo into them. Gets them the gun and a kill. And at this point, it's, hey, Benji, can you save them? He almost is able to, but ends up not looking the right way. 10-1. And at this point, you're thinking, oh, they stopped the 13-0. You know, it's honestly my fault because I wrote my title for this game literally the round before. If Team Heretics 13-0'd them, and then they didn't, that's my bad, gang. But all good, right? Heretics are supposed to just clean this up, win the pistol, win the next round 12-2, and then, you know, let Giant X have a couple rounds, go ahead and win the game. The issue is that doesn't happen. And don't get me wrong, it looks like it's going to. Mini Boo entries with a beautiful Omen paranoia, and now he just has to kill this full blind Omen, but the right click. And then you realize after Woot whiffs this with a good timing up mid, the tomfoolery is started, and the tomfoolery is not going to stop. We're going to continue with this tomfoolery until the end of time, or the end of the game, whichever comes first. Woot in a 1v4, you can't really expect him to do much. They know where he probably is because they know where he was like 10 seconds ago. And yeah, I mean, I don't even want to fault Team Heretics there, right? You should have been able to get that first blood. It was a lucky right click when the guy was full blind that stopped you from doing that. But again, that's when you kind of started to know, okay, we're going to have a game. This is the last round the Team Heretics will win for a while. As you can see here, they're going to have Viper on the lurk. And Benji Fishy knows what's up, right? He waits for the clone, knows that it's not the real Tamazi, and then tries to get this little pixel angle here on Tamazi, unable to do so. But very wisely, backs off, gives up the space. Now, I don't really get this from Giant X, to be honest. This haunt's going to scan you. Cloud just doesn't break it, I guess hoping his teammate would, but his teammate doesn't, so kind of an odd situation all around. But now in a 4v4 situation, they're going to be mid, Rhines 3v3, Boo 2v3. But what they really do so well here is wait. And what I mean by that is they literally just sit outside B main here and make Giant X think that they're going B. Like, look at this. Purpo, he's like, okay, they've left, right? I don't hear anything. They're gone. They have left. They've abandoned us. And then, as you can see here, they're just going to go in on the B bomb site. There's a good retake attempt made here by Giant X, right? They really need this round down 10-4. West side evens out the numbers. However, this, I just don't really like how long it takes for Purpo to kind of come and try and clear this space, right? And what really, I guess, confuses me is West side was just there, right? Like, West side was here. He cleared through it. Like, granted, he didn't go through mail, but you would think that someone would have tried to swing him for the refrag, like, audibly. But, you know, Purpo goes up here, speeds up a little bit, 2v1. He gets down onto site. He's able to kill Woot, actually, but Boo does a great job here in the clutch. Yeah, I mean, overall, a good round. And again, it's one of those rounds that make you think, okay, the game's over, right? Team Heretics are going to win, you know, yada, yada, yada. But that turns out to not be the case at all. And yet again, Team Heretics have a really good idea. Omen Paranoid to quickly take ramp up here and then put 3 people up mid for some mid pressure. I really like this, honestly. This looks like something that you win a game with. But the issue is you have to execute on your game plan. And as we can see here, there were some issues with executing on the game plan. Case in point, Rhines, can't remember which, but bit of whiffage on the Teo there. Would able to trade it out, but still a 4v4 when it should definitely have been a 5v4 situation at this point. Now, Westside has to anchor the site here. He's able to go ahead, get the 1 onto Woot, and then the trip triggering there, and him not getting the kill. He's not really in a spot where he's able to, but not being able to get that kill does kind of suck for him. But again, 3v2, you should win this. Then Benji takes an isolated 1v1. He didn't think anyone would be ramp at that time. But here's where it starts to get a little funky. Miniboo, 2v1. You have Razor, you have Paint Shell. Boo is way back on site. And, you know, I could go, oh, you need to reposition. No, you just need to hit this shot right here, to be honest. And then he pops Razor and shoots it at the smoke. Great play from Runner to drop while he's still looking at the smoke. Just, again, just kind of gross. Again, 1 round secures overtime. 1 right here, up numbers, 3v2. But an elite outplay here by Purpo. As you can see, Boo goes ahead, Omen TPs to the B side, and he's like, oh, I'm fine. Well, Purpo also TPs, kills Boo when he has no idea he's TP'd, and then just sticks the bomb as Benji and Rians, I think, have to just run. It's over, right? You can't win this right here. Absolutely beautiful outplay there. Now, you're probably wondering how Team Heretics continue to throw rounds. Here it is. Benji Fishy on the same lurk. He's been... Then, now, I like this from Giant X. They show a lot of discipline here, not overcommitting, trying to do something with the Yoru ult, like in his face and flashing him. Instead, just back off, TP out, make him a little scared. But here's what I don't get. Miniboo, right here, gets a kill. You're in a 5v4 scenario. You have the bomb site. We have a guy inserted in mail, right? He's here. He's going to probably, this is a one-and-done angle. If you get more than 2, that's just, you know, you being good. If you get less than 1, that's you maybe being a bit subpar. I don't understand why we put Woot up here. I really don't. We already know one of our teammates is going to die. Why are we saying, yes, both of you need to go up here and give them a chance to get numbers back even? Why? I really don't get that. And then, of course, just keep swinging, taking 1v1s. You swing by yourself. Now you swing by yourself. That wasn't even really isolated. It looks very, very bad, to be honest. Miniboo tries right here. You know, Cloud's low. Purpo still full HP, maybe you could get a cheeky off angle, but they have hard read this, and Cloud is actually the one to kill him. Woot got 4 mid. The only question here should be, is Woot going to be able to ace? However, Westside gets a 3k on the people coming out from main, makes it a 1v1. Again, 4v1 situation where Team Heretics look like they've been pushing across the line. Like, that is absurd to me. Now, Boo is terrified to plant the bomb. Honestly, with him being this scared, I don't know why he didn't just TP over to A. Because he genuinely is like freaking out, peeing his pants right now. And I don't blame him because it's very hard to, you know, like plant in a 1v1 situation like this. But at the same time, just omen ult over because you wasted 10 seconds. Westside gets the kill. At least if you omen ult over to A, you can kind of reset and you'll know you'll be able to plant and be safe for that plant. Team Heretics know what they want this round. They want to hit A hard and fast. They think they found a weakness here. They think that they can exploit this for the final round to get it back to OT. The issue is Miniboo almost instantly dies. And now everyone's scanned, the trap's triggered. It's a mess on site. So they wait. They sit here and they think. 4v5 situation. We're pushing into an op here. what do we want to do? Our entry duelist is down. Our ISO doesn't have any utility to get on site. No one really has any util. All we have left is Omen utility. Again, we've used almost all of this util. And we wait. And we wait. And we wait. And if you kind of know Valorant, you know that at this point, it's pretty much over unless someone has like a crazy aim thing, because even with, you know, you have that Omen paranoia, that's literally all. That is all you have. Pushing into an op when the enemy knows where you are, it is pretty much doomed to fail. Now, I do want to give a big shout out to Team Heretics for being able to still win Lotus. I think it's very impressive after choking a map like this to have that level of mental resilience. But I am very worried, honestly. If they're choking to Giant X, do we really think they can stack up against Vitality, Fnatic, Liquid? I'll leave that to you. Go ahead and let me know what you think about it in the comments. Remember to subscribe so I can hit 10K and have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.